Okay, so we were talking just a minute ago with our great guest, Stephen Lewis, who's co-founder of Energetic Matrix Church of Consciousness, which is EMC Square. And he is the co-author of the book Sanctuary, The Path to Consciousness, Development of the AIM Program of Energetic Balancing. I first met Stephen through that, and I've never been the same since. So I suggest everybody, if you want to live longer and you want to live happier, that you get on the AIM program, as I am, my husband is, and my dog soon to be, and a lot of my friends. But welcome to the show, Stephen.
Well, thank you again and again and again. It's always a pleasure.
Stephen told me that that when I first called, because I guess we got the time a little mixed up for him, but he's such a good pop-up. He's kind of a pop-up guy, you know. You just ask him and he just comes up and he does things. He was in the shower and I said, wow, let's have a shower conversation. You know, shower radio. Maybe we just invented something new.
Oh, no. It wouldn't be new for me. I've had many conversations in the shower, or at least I've had, if not a conversation, I've had relationships. That's a different kind of call.
Well, I wonder if soap sounds different on the radio than in the shower. I'm sorry. This has been a fun day, and so we're going to get a little serious if you want to. But I was telling Stephen that I got on his website, and I saw something. I realized he's busy, but didn't realize how busy he was. He has this great website that's called Real People Creating Real Miracles, the AIM program. It's a weekly news, I would call it newspaper. And I see the kind of events you have and the newly revealed hereditary frequency updates, resources, the testimonials. This is just a wonderful thing. I know someone does this, writes it for you, but you are really out there, aren't you?
Well, I don't know where the hell there. Excuse me, I don't know where there is, but it's my job is dictated by whatever's going on, and it's an ancient Chinese curse to say, "May you live in interesting times." Well, we live in interesting times. There's a lot going on. That's considered to be good news if you're Occidental, a curse if you're Oriental. I think the latter is probably true. For example, the frequency of HIV, it's a retrovirus. It mutates. That means no two people have the exact same HIV because HIV will combine with the host RNA to make its own new, never existed before DNA. And that's just the nature of any retrovirus. It's reverse transcriptase. So I just read there's a new strain out called the Cuban strain. It works incredibly rapidly, really, really fast. It reaches full potential, which is fully bad news. And I'm trying to find examples of it so I can find that frequency and then find what frequency people can use to help heal that imbalance if they have it. And on. There are a million things. I mean, Ebola is a retrovirus, and so there it is mutating. And this is probably one of the predominant battlefields we have in this day and age. And they keep becoming more frequent, more regular, more often. And so I do what I do. If the work is there, I got to do what I can do. And I don't expect to retire for. I really don't ever expect to retire.
That's right. We were talking. Yeah, that's what Stephen was saying. That now that he's gotten older, seems like he's busier. Well, of course, because you're more experienced. There's more for you to do. That you didn't think you were going to just sit back and smoke a pipe and look at the sunshine.
Yes, I did think that. As a matter of fact, you're right. Okay.
You didn't talk to me about that.
Well, I talked to our mutual friend Wayne about that.
Yeah, he's not retired.
No, but at least he can sit and watch the waves for a couple of months if he wants. I can, but that's quite all right. But Wayne keeps really busy. It's the same thing. If you respond to life There's always life to respond to. And so, of course, you don't even know what day or time it is. You know that you're busy, you're living, and that's it.
I wouldn't know what to do if I didn't have lots of wonderful things to do. And it's funny, I am around quite a few single women in their 50s, 60s. I guess their husbands have either left them money, the families have left them money, and they go to lunch. Or maybe retired men do this too after they play golf. They go, they do that, then they figure out what else they're going to do. And day after day, well, let's see, the weather's not so good. We can't play this or do that. Stephen, I would never know what to do in a life like that.
Well, I could speculate. And I haven't tried it, but I can speculate. But, I mean, you're dealt. Your life is a hand you're dealt. And I think the most important thing is to keep its perspective. Look, we have been dealt hands wherein what we do in life is what is our passion, what interests us most. And in so doing, we're helping other people. I would say we're very blessed. I mean, it's that simple. That's an ultimate, consummate blessing.
Yes, I agree with you totally.
And, I make enough money to live comfortably, and that's wonderful. It's fine. I don't. I live my life. I don't even speculate about
Exactly.
what else I could do, what I should be doing. This is what I'm doing. It's what I do. It's what I am.
But when you think about when you do discover a frequency, that's almost like a tsunami. I mean, it just goes out, and it helps people that didn't even know they had that problem.
Oh, well, most people do know they have the problem. You see, we've been talking for many years now, you and I, Anita. People at this point, I think 2015 will be a pivotal year. I think pivotal, dramatic. It'll be a year of obvious change. Now, you can miss the subtle changes, but the obvious changes are much tougher to miss. For example, life versus death is an obvious change, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know if you're no longer alive, et cetera, et cetera. This is what I'm talking about. It is a pivotal year. And I think at every level there'll be a change. I think that economically there'll be a major change. I think probably toward the very end of the year, beginning in September, October, November. I think that 2015 is going to be significant.
Did you?
And I'm not a prophet, so I don't know to what extent or exactly how, but there is a coalescence that's occurring. And you have to understand, we really, in the long run, are at the mercy of nature. We live as if nature is something for us to use and utilize without any regard to if we are acting in concert with nature or against nature. That's not the case. We must live in concert with nature, or nature will do what it must do to protect itself, protect the planet. The planet will endure. The question is always, will we endure on the planet?
Good point. Well said.
That is not something that humanity has a track record of paying attention to. We don't notice that. How we don't notice it, I don't know. Although there are some places where they do notice it. The last time I was in Denmark, I was walking around the streets. I went, Jesus, there's no trash, there's no litter, there's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And
like that in Singapore. It's like that in Singapore also.
Right. But it's not like that in Manhattan.
Or Mexico.
Right. So anyway, that's my take on what is going on.
So let me ask.
Change is becoming,
I do want to ask
things
you
are more and
something.
more rapid,
Hmm.
and so I'm busier and busier.
Okay, so did you foresee what was going to happen in the Middle East?
That everyone foresaw. The question is to what extent, and I mean, it's very, very simple. As we define warfare right now, we are in a state of war. We're in a state of war with militant Muslims.
Yep.
And everyone I know knows it. And at some point, the country has to come to grips with that and realize it. And when that happens, there's going to be some tragedy involved. When you say, okay, we're in a war, we must act accordingly, there will be some people who are not in that war who are tarred with the same wide brush, who will suffer from it. But that's just there's nothing else you can do but that. But we're in a war. It's very simple. And if you don't, go read the Quran. I mean, we are, we are infidels. We are those whom it's okay to kill.
Oh.
It says so in the Quran. And that's their opinion. I'm not expected to roll over for it. But that's the war. In the Middle East, sure. I mean, the question is, why are we allowing the Middle East to come here?
Right.
I mean, it's very simple. If something happens in Iraq or Iran or somewhere, that's there. But it's their country. It's theirs. They can have it. We want to buy their oil, we'll make them an offer. If they want to sell it, they'll sell it to us. That's fine. But we should not allow this war to come to our shores.
Right.
We should do all we can to prevent it from occurring here. And we don't. It's that simple. I mean, if you go to Europe now, it's like England is a different country. You can't even. It's not the same country I've been to so many times.
My friends say that France is not either.
France is gone. Totally gone. It's that simple. I mean, and country after country, it's a domino theory, but the dominoes are going in the wrong direction, as far as I'm concerned. So what are you going to do? I don't know. I know if I were in power, I would say we must act as if we're in a state of war, because we are. It's that simple. I mean, always on page one there's something or other about some Muslim doing something, some underground thing to destroy an institution in the U.S. or Canada or here or there or wherever. I think that's a state of war. What do you think?
Well, this sounds crazy, but I just say let them all fight it out there, and just we protect ourselves here. But I just have a feeling when I've seen all these wonderful men and women coming back with destruction, and from Afghanistan and Iraq, I want Saddam to come back. He sure knew what he was doing. I'm sorry, saying this on the radio is crazy. I never talk politics, but I have such a, I just hate. I hate war. I hate cruelty. That's my problem. I don't understand it, and and so I'm in shock.
It's no big mystery. It's about money. It's about money. And it was always about money, but there were sometimes other things involved. But the U.S. doesn't. Our wars are always about money, and they're fought in some other country.
Right.
And that's all I can say without getting into major trouble.
Yeah, I understand. I know. I didn't mean to really ask you, but I've been troubled like everybody else. And at one point, I told my husband, why don't we just turn off television so we don't know what's really even going on there? Because I think they love the fact that we're able to see all that. I mean, it's like, it's,
Well, I don't like living blind.
I
And so
know,
therefore,
I
if something's
understand.
happening,
I know.
I need to look and see what's happening.
I know.
And particularly when what is happening to a great extent is leaking over into and involving the area of disease. It involves biological warfare, etc.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, I have to know this is
Of course.
part of my work,
Of course.
these frequencies. So, no, that's not an option that's available. But that's why I'm so damn busy.
Yeah, I can
But the
see.
point is, we should recognize we're at war. And once you do, you have to live differently when you're at war.
Okay. Well,
So, and that's it. And to not recognize that is to play in the hands of the enemy.
interesting. Well, I have to have a personal conversation off the air sometime so I can hear you better because I know we probably shouldn't be doing this now. So let's move forward. But I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
I do appreciate you so much, and I just treasure your ideas and what you do. But what I would like to ask you is this program, the weekly news that you put out, you speak with a lot of people throughout the country, and are you talking about life force with them, or are you talking? Are you talking to them about?
Well, I do almost no proselytizing. It has been, as is true for most of us, I have my guides. I call them spirit guides. And that's a good enough term, but I get a message, a very strong message saying, no, this you can't do, this you can't do. And it's been made very clear to me. In my work, I'm a messenger. I do what I do, and I tell people this is what I found. And then I can walk away. The burden of action is then upon others. If you take that message and say, I need to do something about it, I will be there to help and do what I can. If you choose not to, that's your choice. And who's to say you're wrong? I'm not going to say it. So I don't discuss that much with people. If people I know are committed to what I'm doing and our work, I will tell them exactly what's happening, what I find, what is current. But for the most part, I bear listening to people complain about everything, this or that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it comes at every level. I don't understand. The U.S. doesn't make sense to me. I don't quite follow it. Economically, it makes no sense. It's just a strange scenario. Economically, it makes no sense at all. It's like we just increase the debt and increase it, and we no longer have a gold standard, so we can just print all the money we want, which will make money worthless. And it's like an old Broadway show or something. Stop the world, I want to get off.
Well, let me go back. I don't know the history of why did they change the gold standard? I don't even know who did it or.
Nixon
And
did
why?
it.
Why? What was the point of that?
I can't think of any reason other than he just wanted to print more money. There must be a standard we use money because it's so transportable as opposed to goods. I mean, if I want to buy, 100,000 pig's feet, I can go get pig's feet delivered to my living room, or I can do it with cash and have them delivered where I want them. Now, that's the so you use money as in lieu of the goods you're really buying. And that's a very simplified, oversimplistic statement.
Mm-hmm.
That being the case, you must, if you say, I'm buying the pig's feet with this money, you have to have the pig's feet. You have to have the substance. So we take a given substance and say, this will be the benchmark. We'll make it, instead of pig's feet, because they don't keep very well, we'll make it gold.
Right.
And that's what Fort Knox is about. And whatever gold we have, we can back with like certificates of deposit. We can back with our dollar and $5, $10, $20, $100,000 bills. You represent, each of those bills represents money that we have stored. Now, when you no longer have the money stored, you're just printing money. It doesn't represent anything.
Right.
Well, isn't there a flaw somewhere? If you owe money, just print more.
I wonder what the argument was when they were proposing this.
Well, people I know were like livid and said, it's not today, but eventually you will so weaken society that I don't know what you're going to do. And the argument politically has always been, well, we'll figure that out when the time comes.
Oh, yeah, right. Right. Let's come.
That's what politicians say.
Yep.
Politicians say, we must deal with the moment. That's it. And it's kind of an argument for not getting involved in politics as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I don't speak for anyone but me.
Right.
And that's okay. Nobody's ever asked me to run for anything anyway.
Right.
So there's no loss involved at any level.
Right. That's true.
But that's what we have going here, and that's politically we're at that level, and it carries over into everything else. In our health field, it's the same thing. I can't think of any exceptions to all this. And it gets worse and worse the more you know. I don't want to get into it in detail, but I'll put it this way. If you think that HIV came from a monkey biting a native in the ass, I think you're also very, very strong in favor of Santa Claus and the tooth fairy. Because monkeys have been biting natives in the ass ever since there's been monkeys and natives. And never meant the end of all humanity. It is axiomatic now. It's page one. It's normal stuff now that we look for and are not shocked by the concept of biological warfare. Using designer diseases, custom-made diseases as weapons. And you can weaponize almost any disease. Some more readily than others, but it can be done. This is what we do today. And that's why, by the way, some tiny little country can, if they want, threaten the existence of the whole world.
And has it not always been that way?
No, it has not. Up until the atomic age, which is 1945.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Up until 1945, they had to have a bigger army, and et cetera.
That's true.
It was that simple. That's the reason that Rhode Island never declared war on the rest of the country.
Right.
It's very simple. But right now, that changed it all. And I think in 1945, I think that Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that was the constant, inevitable end of and death of the last vestige of anything you might call innocence.
I agree.
And the mentality sentiments of the world changed as of 1945. There were already coffin nails being, hammered in during Korea. Vietnam was just a flat-out disaster. And now here we are. And historically, it's all very coherent. But politicians don't deal with history. They deal with the moment now. They deal with the election is next month. What will it take to get elected? That's it.
Yeah.
And even politicians who realize the fallacy of this are helpless to resist it. That's why John F. Kennedy said every mother wants her son to grow up and be president. She just doesn't want him to become a politician along the way.
I don't remember his saying that.
Absolutely. And that is the flaw.
Yeah.
There are laws in life that must be obeyed because the chickens do come home to roost.
Yeah.
It's really that simple. Now, here I am, and many people I know, we're working to do what we can. I think inevitably, probably necessarily, there will be a major thinning out of the herd of human beings. And we'll begin again. Hopefully, we'll learn again. We'll learn from it. If not, it'll happen again and again. Because who would say something, if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it.
With that, I have to tell you that we have finished. And this has been an extraordinary show. You know that. We've never done this before, but I love it. I really hope people who listen will learn some things from it, Stephen. And thank you. I do appreciate it.
Well, you never asked me a question before, Anita. That's all.
I know. Wow, this is a great. I'll have to be careful from now on. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you very much. And
My great pleasure. Have a great week, Anita. Take care.
Thank you so much. Bye.